Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to have with us a youngish, innovative entrepreneur. Right now, we have with us Gaurav Agarwal. Let's listen to him. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me here. It's a great pleasure and an honor to be talking to your audience and to be talking in front of you about my story and how I feel it can create an impact. Hopefully, it does. I'll try to actually cover from the beginning the entire journey so that people can drive whatever little knowledge or inspiration, if I may add so. I've grown up in Calcutta. In my early childhood days, I had been a West Bengal board student, a merit holder throughout class 10 and 12th. And I would say after 12th, a transition stage, I can say, wherein I landed up in St. Xavier's College, Kolkata. And first year, I vividly remember. So I was asked to present on the dais a topic on economics. So if I prepared it full fledged, so I was not that good in spoken English. Okay, so I had a paper with me in my small little pocket in case I forget things. So yes, as obvious, it happened. As in 1 minute into the conversation, I forgot the entire thing, the entire uh, plot, and I then quickly opened up that paper, started reading that, and once I completed at the end of 3.5 minutes, so I was too ashamed, was feeling too bad in front of a classroom of 63 students. Like, okay, a West Bengal board student has, uh, you know, proven to be dumb again in the sense that he has not fared well in a spoken English because my fear was probably English, though being a merit holder. But Professor Samrat Mukherjee, that time he came and patted on my back saying, Gaurav, you did a really good job. That particular, incident itself told me that it is not important whether you see stuff or whether you take it out from your own mind. It is more important what kind of content you deliver because people listen to the kind of content and they accept your flaws at it as it is. They do not essentially care like you are a flawless guy or you are using very good grammatical English as well as verbose, very good English words. That's not required. What is more important is whether your content, your message is being delivered to them or not. So since that time, I would say first semester of my college, I started participating more and more into such gigs, such events, and that one led to another. And I thought that I am sort of gaining more confidence in English. And yes, that itself further was not a barrier because I also felt later on that it was more of a mindset issue. Okay. So that was one thing which it is like a transition from a Hindi to an English convent college background thing. Which second, I would say another thing which I can remember is I had been a topper throughout my school and college, but I actually failed in my CA finals. So I am a chartered accountant, and during my finals, the first attempt I failed. So it was a true shattering moment for me because maybe I was too overconfident, thinking that how can I even flunk in any of the class or any of the exam? Later on, I realized that I was actually underprepared. Parallelly, during that phase of shrinking down and not talking to many people, sharing my feelings, I came across this Australian army rule which said they admit only those soldiers who have failed at least once in their life. So that rule itself actually changed my perspective towards failure. I thought that it is good that probably early on I have, because I was sort of flying high with good marks in 10th, 12th, and then eventually in college as well. But that sort of a roadblock helped me in a way to calm down, to understand that, yes, at multiple levels, it helps you that, okay, life is not a bed of roses, right? So you can take a failure in the right stride. And the better thing is I bounced back. I could clear my chartered accountancy in second attempt. Why I remember and share that story always is because every 6 months, similar story happens with multiple students across competitive exams, as close as my cousin itself. I was talking to her 2 weeks back, who also flunked, and I was like, it does not, it does not matter after a point in time, after you are have cleared it in first attempt or second attempt. I have stories because now I am in recruitment domain, so I have also stories of successful CXOs who have cleared the same exam in 12th and 14th attempt as well, and they are doing much better than those who have cleared in first attempt. So that itself proves, right, that I mean, life is not about only winning in exams. So it comes with its own failures, success stories. So yeah, I mean, I always believe that, failure is okay, but try and bounce back. That is much more critical. Again, I always feel that last week itself I was teaching my students this particular thing. I Some of the things which I've learned after some time, I always feel, what if this was told to me much before, at a much younger age. Okay, now I'm 36, so I used to think that, if at all these things that were told to me when I was 22, I would have, felt better at that point in time. So one concept I would say is the ancient happiness formula, okay, which I would like to share with all of you. So my dad always used to say, it's in Hindi, "Pehla sukh nirogi kaya." Okay, so the ancient happiness formula starts with your health first. Okay. So when I started working and 13 years into my entrepreneurship journey, so I have mostly emphasized on working way too hard and focusing only on the wealth part of my journey. However, in the ancient happiness formula, first is health, then second is wealth. Okay. So that is one thing which I would tell to all 20-year-old out there, that please, whatever the scenario is, don't just run after money making, because if the health is not there, right? If you are not at the right health, then nothing else will actually help you. Okay. So that is one ancient happiness formula. Second learning which I could share with my 20-year-old is the concept of financial freedom. Okay. Now, I read this book by Karan Bajaj, who sold his company, Whitehead Junior, to Byju's. He very well explained this concept of financial freedom. Okay. Now, people often ask this question: how much money is enough money? Okay. So, if a framework is given to them saying that this amount is good enough, okay, then so many financial gurus also talk about it, but very few understand the concept of financial freedom. When you can sort of retire from your daily work life. So financial freedom is mostly inclined towards your time freedom. Like, can I work as per on my wish, not as per the whims and fancies of a boring, dull job which I never wanted to do. Okay. So the formula says in urban areas, I'll not go into details of the math. So normally it is like whatever expenses that you have, okay, minimum you can multiply that yearly expense by 20. Somebody says 20, somebody says 30, and that the figure that comes should be sort of an enough kind of a financial freedom figure to get into that zone of wherein you can work as per your own wish, not work as per your boss's wish. Okay. So that's how I see the concept, the second concept of financial freedom. Third concept, which I really loved is, or want to tell my 20-year-old self, is about balancing relationships. Okay. So, I mean, if you have different balls, which are, like health is one ball, wealth is one ball, and relationship is another ball. So the first two balls are made of rubber. The third relationship ball is made of glass. So more you throw a rubber ball, maybe towards your entrepreneurship journey, your job, or probably your health, it will bounce back as a rubber effect. However, in case of relationship, being a glass ball, it can break. So that's a super important thing that people take pride in saying that I had been working throughout. I could not see my son, daughter, or probably wife. I could not give any time to them. But try and give some time to them as well. Maybe find an excuse. So I figured out that excuse. My son is 5 year old. His name is Shlok. So I found out that excuse in the form of creating a mythological brand out of it, wherein I am just trying to answer questions of Shlok. So since I am from Calcutta, we were in Durga Puja Pandal. So this is mammoth in Calcutta. This is the biggest festival. So myself, along my better half and Shlok, we three were there in a Durga Puja Pandal, wherein it was asked, Shlok asked me, Papa, what is Shivji doing in the Pandal of Durga Ma? So that particular question or that curiosity triggered that, okay, the question that Shlok
Hmm.
is having, probably so many more people might be having that question. So I just thought of creating a content out of it, like
Hmm.
why Shivji is there in the Durga Ma Pandal. And that's how my journey into content began. And I wanted to do mythological content since 1.5 years
Yeah.
because I am a Bhagavad Gita follower.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do it. And why to wait for the right time and just becoming way too perfect, having the right kind of equipment, etc.
Hmm.
Just start it out. So that is another, recommendation slash advice to all the 20-year-old or anybody who's listened to it. Whatever is there in your mind you wanted to do since ever, it should not happen that, I mean, there is one framework or the rule how you can decide that. You ask yourself the question, will you regret this decision after 10 years?
Right.
If the answer is to that is yes, then kindly go for it.
So, well, Gaurav, one thing. I want to tell my story. I had become self-employed. Okay. And a guy, those days, you had only landline phones. One man called me at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And he said, I want to discuss a consulting assignment with you. Right? Of course, I wanted the job, but I said, listen, at this time, I have to take my 3-year-old daughter to the swings. Okay? And she's going to yell and howl if I don't do it. So kindly call me tomorrow. He called me tomorrow. He says, you must be crazy. I said, no, I'm not crazy. What can I do? She will howl. And my wife will be angry at me. Then what the heck? You can't even, you have no job and you can't even take your daughter out to the swings at the right time. I said, okay, forget it. So it's very important to know your priorities. Okay. The money will come. The money will come. But those childhood moments, they won't come.
Correct.
Right? So, okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I also, I mean, trying to address why I am into HR business. People often ask me, like, Gaurav, you're a chartered accountant. What are you doing here in running a AI recruitment business? Okay. So I'll actually take it. I always get back to 2013. So I came back from Unilever South Africa back to Calcutta because I am a younger son, so my brother was that time in Hyderabad. So we I started searching for a job, okay, after coming back to Calcutta. That is the time wherein I was actually, there were consulting companies who used to charge from candidates. Still there are. I mean, last week only I was reading in a newspaper that there are companies who are charging bomb from candidates. So I was actually duped by a recruitment consultant for 13,300 rupees. So they promised me a job at an MNC. Said that your resume looks fantastic and I can land you an interview call there. And that interview did never happen. But the good part of it is I rang up my friend from St. Xavier's. I called him up. His father used to run 1,000 crore jewelry house that time. So I told him, boss, can I provide you manpower free of cost? So consider that as a trigger point of that particular incident. And I started providing manpower and started enjoying the process. Probably 3 months down the line, I realized that I'm not making money, though I'm enjoying the process. So, what is the format? How do I make money of this? So, then I realized and spoken to some of my other friends into the business. They were like, you can charge the companies for that. They will be more than happy to pay to a recruitment house, this. And I want to bring attention this particular fact of unemployment slash job crisis. I mean, if you consider top three problems across the world, right? This is the earth scale problem: unemployment, job mismatch. You pick up any company, they will always say the biggest problem which they face is hiring. Versus you talk to any job seeker, they will still say, I am never either at a right place, either I'm not being paid well, or my profile sucks. So in both the cases, there is always this problem of the wrong match, our true mismatch, I would say. So that is where we delved deep into this recruitment, started in 2013. Up till 2018, learned the trade tricks of the business, how to approach companies by showing them the right portfolio, etc. 2018, I stumbled upon this concept of franchising. However, franchising was being done mostly in the food business, with the likes of Subway, McDonald's, etc. So I thought, how can I bring that into service business? I started it franchising my recruitment agency brand in 2018. Within 20 months, we became the fastest growing in India by selling 40 franchises across 11 cities. Still, you know, I am more of a numbers guy, so I was doing a research that how many people get successful after buying a franchise, or for that matter, even starting a business. The ratio was, shocking. Like it was around 9% of people who get into business or start the franchise business are successful. We brought the success ratio till 22% for our franchise business. But still, I was like, man, this is not enough. I mean, I am taking money probably from franchise buyers or people who are taking my franchise business. They are having some faith on the brand, on me, probably showing that, okay, this can be the right business. But still, I mean, 7 out of 10 are not doing good. So that is where we served all the agreements and we thought that this is the right time to add more and more technology layer because why 2013 in that year, Gaurav started to help job seekers find job. That was the core mission, free of cost. But somehow I'm getting too much into the franchise business, which is making me away from the core mission itself. So we thought how we can probably utilize the new age technology like AI. And we are currently also testing as we speak conversational AI into the business process so that we can actually increase the number of hirings that we do per month by minimum 3 times. So just imagine the kind of impact that we create on a monthly basis with AI, with the conversational AI element. Can we increase it by 3 times? So the core mission remains the same. how we can help more and more job seekers. Now another layer has been added to that mission, getting those people back to their hometowns, specifically in the tier 2 tier 3 cities. The human cost, like, the family cost is huge. I have seen cases wherein, the ailing parents are there, the aging parents not able to, their kids are, because of work only they have to relocate, right? No other option. So can we become that bridge itself? So one similar incident happened when we used to work for a company known as Manyavar in Kolkata. They were looking for a graphic designer. Okay, so graphic designer or fashion designer, exactly I don't remember, it was 2017-18. We figured out a candidate in Delhi who was fitting that role. His story was his ailing mother was in Murshidabad is a small town in West Bengal, closer to Kolkata. So we actually enabled him that job opportunity. We got him that, and he was offered an opportunity there. One fine day in my office, I get a call from this gentleman saying, "Is this Gaurav I'm speaking to?" So normally the direct calls used to come to me because my number was only mostly flashed on the website. So like, "Is this consultancy?" Yes, this is a consultancy. I actually got a job. I want to just come there to meet you and touch your feet. I'm like, why? Why? What happened? He said, actually, Amar Ma Ashche, she was unwell. Now, because of you guys, I am at least able to meet her every weekend. I can take a train from Kolkata and meet her every weekend. So that itself has, her health has become much better after seeing me. So that is where we were deciding that, man, the kind of work that we are doing, it's not only financially impactful, but it's more of a impact social as well as on families. The human cost, as I always say, is much, much more of attrition. And parallelly, when we did a thesis for the companies as well, the companies also felt that the retention has increased by minimum 2.2 years for these kind of people who are coming back. So yeah, I mean, we are still driven by that mission of Ghar Vapsi, we say that proudly. And each of the success story, I would say, each daily when I receive a message from my team that this candidate has been relocated, my simple question is, from which location this candidate is coming to which location? So yeah, I mean, that's what we are wholeheartedly working on, Ghar Vapsi.
Well, Gaurav, I can say very confidently that I'm thrilled. Okay, this is the first time I shared these ideas and I'll talk to you about them. But this is the first time I have now done 930 weed beds. Okay, I've heard 930 people. It's not a joke, but this is the first time I've heard this. It resonates with me, and I want to discuss with you some practical aspects. Let's not do that in the recording, but really, it's a great story that you have and a great mission that you have chosen for yourself to make money. Sure, of course, I'm an economist. People should make money. They should make good money. But there's a flip side to it. There is a flip side to it. And that flip side, we can still make money by looking at that flip side, because as you said, is the match that is the key. I mean, as a macroeconomist, I see that people can't get jobs in India, and companies cannot find workers. Right? We have the dual problem that, when you ask a foreign company to come to India, they say, but you don't have a qualified workforce. Right? We can get better workers in China and Vietnam, but we can't get them in India. And yet the Indians are saying we don't have jobs. So this is the mismatch which you are pointing to, that, where the person is dying to get a job and the company is dying to get an employee. and the two don't meet. So somebody has to find the way out, and I'm glad you are doing that. Okay, let me stop. Anything else you want to add here?
So that's it. As you rightly pointed, it's about joining the dots, and you know, it's a win-win situation for all the stakeholders. Companies find the right people, and with the right people, I always say, if you get somebody from the same industry and same profile, it will directly impact your top line as well as bottom line. I was doing a small study about the billionaires of the world, sir. So one activity that most of the billionaires spend their most of their time, I would say 90% and more of their time, is hiring.
Hmm.
Spotting the right talent is where their most important time of the day, most number of hours of the day go in. So if somebody is able to spot that right talent in Bengal, in the football, and it's a big fan of football in West Bengal, so they call people spotter.
Yeah,
If the coach is able to spot the right talent for their own team, that is where the team can win.
yeah,
So if you want to win in your business, the right thing that you need to spot is the right talent.
it's true. Absolutely true. Okay, I think I do want to talk quite a bit to you offline. So let's end the recording here. You've delivered your key message and it's been well received. And let's see how we can proceed with this. So thank you, Gaurav, for being here. I'm so happy to hear what you are doing. And let's end the recording. I'll be back with another young person or an expert and let's talk offline. Okay,
Sure, sir.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you so
bye.
much, sir.
Bye. Bye.